Hopefully you guys can hear me. Pop down into the chat and let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't want to do the last one. You know how it is when we trying to prevent copyright. So while you guys are letting me know if you can hear me, I am back. Checking my connection. Checking my connection. It's a little blurry, so one moment. One moment. I wonder if it's because we're on the same network. I always wondered. We'll see. We'll see. Is it because how about that? It didn't look like that fixed it much. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Alrighty, we'll see, we'll see. Um, Everyone's saying they can hear me. Great, my nut says. Hey everyone. She's resting and trying to stay cool. It's been in the hundreds the past few days, 79 right now, but going back. Um, Up the heat before the rest of the week. We're also in an extreme heat watch for the next 60 hours. What's up, Jeremy? How are you doing? Um, Everyone's saying hello. Denise is in the house. Hi, Denise. Sue, my Sue. Hello. How are you tonight, Mary? How you doing, Mary? Did you get something from me? Robin, what's up, Robin? And Robin did confirm as well that she can hear me. Dare Bear says he can hear me. Tennis, did you get something from me? Tennis, I think Heather, Linda Kendall, Mary. Y'all check your pack. Karina, where is it at? Where is it at? Y'all, let me show y'all what Karina got me. Y'all know this is my favorite absolute all-time candy. Look, Karina. And she brought it to the retreat. She stays maybe half an hour, I think, away, maybe 40 minutes. And she drove in. We had a good time. The unfortunate part was she may not have been aware that I've taken a job and I had to work. So when she got there, although it's a lot of sitting around, when she got there, you know, she was able to come in, say hi, say what's up. This is just what I have in here. I got like tons more. She hooked me up. Anyway, she got to come in and and I was able to greet her and things like that. And then when I got off work, I also spent time with her on my lunch break, my breaks. But then when I got off work, I was able to kind of hang out, have a good time. Oh, what a time it was to be had. Now, you guys know I am a retreat goer and I am gone quite a few times a year because I also do some cross stitch hanging out, some cross stitch retreats and things. So when I tell you that I'm starting to learn that a more like intimate setting, a smaller maybe environment is it's endearing and it's near and dear to your heart. You know, the bonds that are being built for that period of time, I feel like they're a little bit stronger than when we have, we have fun when it's a larger group. We have fun, everybody has to put in on the fun and we walk away with memories. But I'm talking about that heartwarming where you cry and you got big snot bubbles. And, when it's time to go, I feel like that small, more intimate environment. Some things that we have done the last few years, we have like the retreat before the retreat. If you're going to a large retreat, I highly recommend kind of hooking up with some people and doing a smaller retreat before the retreat, because I think that will give you, I see me blinking out, but I think that will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But what an amazing retreat it was. I had a great time. Um, oh my goodness. Obviously, I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but I want to say hello to everybody. And while I'm saying hello, you know the rules. You know what we do. We're going to pop into the chat and we're going to let everybody know what's the weather like in your neck of the woods. Here today, 97. Feels like, this is crazy, feels like 90. So there's a small breeze. I'm not sure why, because we're not going down in temperature. We're going up. We're about to hit into like the 108s, 110s. That's not as hot as it gets here, but it's not August yet. So we're going to take what we can get. And again, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Hi, Heather. Thank you so very much. Um, other one call, two call outs, you guys, if you saw Rich last week, you know I popped in to say congratulations, he hit 2,000 subscribers. And one of the, we met at a retreat, and one of the things that I always do, this is my first time, is I wear my crowns. You guys know, because I've shown you them, that I have a host of crowns, but because I was limiting myself, you know, luggage wise and things like that, I had one pair of Crocs and I did not take any crowns. Now, I probably should have wore some on the plane. That probably would have been ideal because I flew nonstop. It just was outside of my head and things like that. But he was the first to point it out. There were people at the retreat. Cheryl, Tima, Karina even said something. Uh, Rochelle, Shelly. It was a lot of people. Where are your crowns at? Where are your crowns at? They will be in full effect for my next one because I felt naked. But if you guys hear people saying that, then make sure that you know, um, there was a one-off. So people will be able to say, oh, that was the time she didn't have a crown. Mary says we are under an extreme heat wave here in Ohio. Ooh, 10 p.m. and feels like it's 95. It was well over 100 during the day. Yuck. Sue says a heat wave there too. Jer Bear says he's doing good. How are you? And he's cooking dinner. Woo! Them some lucky pets that he has. When he eat good, you know he makes sure they eat good. Heather did get her package. I love my pens. Thank you, Tia. You're so very welcome. Oh my gosh, I did. I have it sitting at my table to take pics, a video. I keep forgetting. Mary, I'm glad you like it. Hey, Tia. Rochelle, look at you looking all cute with your makeup. Yes, girl. So if y'all see me last week, y'all see my afro, right? Because it was that humid. We don't have humidity here. That's why I like to talk about the weather. And I took my curls out and blow dried my hair. The reason is because Tima said it gets cold in the craft area. She wasn't lying. She was not. I'm telling you, it get cold in the craft area. Anyway, the reason why I blow dried my hair, I probably should have blow dried it, flat ironed it, slicked it up, or put it in a ponytail or something. But all I did was blow dry. I didn't think because I would be going anywhere, but it's humid everywhere. Like you feel sticky all over the place and stuff. So if you guys caught me last week, you saw my hair transitioning. It was like fighting. It was just trying to turn into an afro. And it's not 1975, so afros are not gauche. but but you know, a new look was being had. Matt, what's up, Matt? Uh-oh. Matt says, hola, Tia, and everyone. You all jazzed up tonight. What kind of work you taking? Matt is horrible. I swear he is. Um, so, you guys know I work in insurance. I'm just not doing any investigations anymore or anything like that. I am with this specialty team, and we kind of do everything that a liability adjuster is not doing. So we're going through your coverage and things like that. And we're not selling. That's the other important thing. So there's, no goals or anything like that. Just if you call in and you need some help, If it's in my wheelhouse to be able to assist, I can, and I do. So that's pretty much the position, but it is still an insurance. You guys know I cannot take on anything too stressful. No more. I don't want another stroke, and I definitely don't, want to have to deal with, the stress that comes from work and not being able to let it go and worrying about your licensing and how this customer's, incorrect statement is going to impact my licensing. So I'm not dealing with that, and that's great. Rochelle said, best retreat to date. Loved it. I am going to concur. Okay. And the reason is because I worked and then I got off. I couldn't. Now it was a new job and everything. Can y'all imagine starting a new job and saying something like, "You look here. I know you guys are being kind and you'll take me on, give me a try and things. Something new. This is brand new department. But in the meantime, I got some things I need to do. I already had planned, and so I'm gonna go ahead on and go. And y'all gonna let me in. Y'all gonna let me try and work with. Imagine hearing that." And you saying, okay, I'm not sure what it was, but they trusted me. I was able to work remote with just my phone. My phone was my modem, and it definitely it helped out. It helped, so I definitely appreciate that. Obviously, I don't want to do too much shouting out, so I don't want people calling me up. Hey, can you tell me? Can you look my account up? So we're not gonna do that. But shout out to them. Shout out to the new boss. I didn't want to say MB because that could be new booty, but I don't want anybody wondering and guessing. So it's new boss, and I definitely appreciate they gave me a lot of leeway, and I definitely appreciate being brand spanking new and them trusting me enough with that leeway. Matt says it's 95 here today. Felt like 106. Stupid hot for our area. And you have humidity. Oh my gosh. If I lived where Matt and Rochelle and Mutna, if I lived where you guys live, um, yeah, she would just go ahead and rock an afro. Y'all see the afro on the lady in the background? Yes, that is romance art captured by Radiance. I don't remember the name of it because I call her Seventh Bride of Chucky. The name of it is The Brides of the Seventh Moon Femi. Okay, well, we got that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a picture. Yes. Let me move it back. Y'all see that? Okay, just one more time. I'll move it back though. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. Do not be asking the questions that I know y'all want to ask. Matt, no, there isn't any water. There we go. Marquita, Quita, Kiki. Oh, we wanted to see you, but we are we were carless and things like that. Marquita lives in the area, and it really was a hope that we would be able to get out and things like that. But time was just extremely limited, especially with me working. Obviously, I won't be doing that at any other retreat. But, I got that inaugural out of the way. I'm in and I'm earning PTO. So we will be back in that area because this was a beautiful retreat. And I'm hoping anybody in the area when we do come back that we can arrange some sort of meetup, have a good time, laugh, kiki, um, and just have a good time. Michelle says it's hot. It's 82. Woo! With a heat index of 94. That's where I was at in Missouri. You look beautiful, Princess Tia. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. That's my Melinda. Melinda is such a beautiful person. Boy, she was ripping my heart to pieces. She told me that I was one of the creators that she absolutely wanted to see. And that is why, because she schemed. Uh-oh, I got some Linton. She schemed to get into the the Tall Oaks retreat. She made it. She was checking every day and she got in. So if you guys are interested in a retreat and you go on a wait list, just stay true to heart and things like that, because it's like the last second and somebody will inevitably, not be able to make it and you're able to kind of get in. That happened with Melinda. Melinda she's 9 hours away, so she came in and it was a ball getting to see her hanging out, having a good time, and getting some hugs. 96. Yes, so Jer Bear is on the same side of the world as me. Uh-huh. And Kiki saying it's 86. Okay, so, and I know it's hot there. Oh, ensuring your clients are having an entertaining night on the strip. Got it. Mary says we have horrible humidity here too. Um, I love that one. I have her too. Tammy, glad you made it home safe and sound. You look so pretty with makeup on tonight. I got so excited today. I got heart on the sleeve. Oh, I have all three. Look at that. Hey, everyone in chat. It's 78 in Colorado. It's 8:21. So, definitely showing that because you guys kept hearing me talk about the Seventh Bride of Chucky, and that was next. Eden Cove, that's also by Captured by Radiance. That is next. But I did get two diamond paintings from that DAC. It's been a while since I bought from them. Probably haven't bought from them. I don't know if this is the first time in 2026. I think so. But I did purchase two new releases last week from DAC. So I'm waiting on those to come in. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pop them right here so that you guys can see. Obviously, size is huge. So this one right here, what's the size on it? It is a 60 by 81. 77,760 diamonds, 68 colors. So that's a lot of colors. I feel like that's right there. That seems like a lot of color blocking. So she's getting moved up, just so you guys are aware. She's not on like a 2032 or anything. She'll be sooner rather than later. Um, and with the new job, I'm going to be honest, with the new job, there's going to be some crafting, because anybody that was at the retreat can tell you there's a lot of sitting. Sitting, I don't have to type anything. I'm not investigating. I'm not constantly, doing reports, doing scene recreations, calling the police. I'm not doing any of that. It literally is just assisting with, questions, or, pointing things out to customers. A lot of help with, downloading of the app and showing them how to find their own information without, I'll probably replacing myself now that I think about it. But I have been crafting. So after I got off work at the retreat, I hightailed it downstairs and I tried to do a different craft every night. Now, people kept saying, oh, she's not going to do this. She's not going. When I arrived and I showed everybody what I had, I said, these are going to get touched. And that's what I did. I touched. So I diamond painted one evening. Obviously, I didn't finish the whole canvas in that evening. It was touched. Will I go back? The goal is to, but another evening. This might not have been the best night to do this, but you guys know I kept talking about my Legos, and I was determined to play with my Legos. I got a lot of time playing with my Legos. Lots. The problem was, it was the night that we had decided to drink. Whew. You guys probably caught me. Was I drinking that night? I don't remember if it was that night or the night after, but I drank for 2 nights. And the first time I was drinking, I played with Legos. No problem. I had, my little dinosaur stacking and things like that. But when you're drunk, you're just not mindful. It's like, diamond painting when you've been drinking a little too much. It doesn't work, right? So I get kind of far and I'm transitioning one layer on top of the next layer, and I did something and caused half of my dinosaur to crumble. I did. And apparently I sat there for quite a while just staring at it. They thought that I was going to face plant into it. I felt like I did it for maybe 2 or 3, but it's like the shock. The shock. But the five ladies that sat at the table with me said otherwise. They said I stared at it for a long time and they thought I was going to face plant into my project. So that was the night that I did Legos. Another night, I did paint by number. And did I have a good time doing paint by number? Now, if you guys remember, I took a poll and I asked you guys what kind of additional crafts that you guys would, and we heard all the fiber arts, cross stitch, crochet, knitting, loom, crochet. We heard all of those and things like that. Obviously, Legos was a suggestion and things like that. Very few people mentioned paint by number. So I want to know where everybody reigns in with paint by number because I really did enjoy it. Now there's some things that's lacking. I got really far on my paint by number also. So that might be an easier way to complete a full canvas. I'm putting the same amount of time in. I just got really far. But I was losing out on the bling aspect. And you guys know the sparklier, the more vibrant, the more facets, the better. So what do you guys think? Is that a miss when it comes to paint by number? Is that something that can be overcome? How can you bling out a paint by number? That's what I want to know. The other craft that I was able to kind of work on while I was there, woo, is cross stitch. You guys know cross stitch is near and dear to my heart. It was my number one craft, and in looking for cross stitch patterns, that's how I came across diamond painting. What? Kiki's coming to see me. Just let me know when you coming, and hey, we're gonna have some fun. Did you bring your loom? I did not bring my loom because that would have required more space in my bag. So I said I was taking two of each. I said I was taking two diamond paintings. I said I was taking two cross stitch I had like four cross stitch projects. Then I had I think I had three or four diamond paintings just in case I felt like switching it up. Now my diamond paintings weren't large. I took my remaining, I remember showing you guys last year I had an angel that I got along with the flower from Amazon. And I kept saying I was going to do it, I was going to do it. It was one of the canvases that I brought. I have another diamond painting that I've been working on from Dreamer Designs, and I take it to every retreat. And I just kind of put a couple, diamonds and things like that down. I got really far, but when I was working on my diamond painting, it was the background is all 310. So I was working on a lot of 310s and things like, and you know what happens when you start color blocking and you work with a color for too long, you don't want to go back to it, you want to do something else and things like that. So that was diamond painting. Let's see. The food was yummy. Now outside with the dogs. What's up, Trevor? Hey, MJ. Julie is in the house. What's the weather like in your neck of the woods, Julie? How you doing? Hola, hola, hola. Hi, Chrissy. What you doing? How you doing? How's my boy? Tell him I said hi. What's up, Art? Um, Happy hump day, everyone. Cheryl Katz is in the house. Cheryl will be here in a few weeks. Crystal says, I have a paint by number. Haven't tried it yeah, in a couple of weeks. I thought so. I knew that you were coming. So, Kiki, when are you coming? We could just go ahead on and line it up. um, so the paint by number, again, it went over really well. The only aspect about paint by number is I really did miss the opportunity to bling. Really did. And then cross stitch. So while I was sitting working my job, I got to kind of go through, we call it kit up, get my yarn and things like that, my floss in order. I worked on cross stitch probably the most because I did it during the day, kind of mapping out my program and things like that. I had iPad and stuff like that, and I'm trying to map out all of my colors. I did buy metallic floss, so I do have the bling aspect because I'll buy pearlescent and I do buy metallic floss to kind of add like a bling effect to my cross stitch. And so I did kind of work on that during the day, kind of mapped it out. So I got a lot done project wise, when it comes to cross stitch. That, and then probably the next most I would say is the paint by number. Third, I did work really hard on my Lego piece, and I was really upset, packed it all up when I made that mistake. So you don't drink and craft, and if you do, you accept the losses that befall you. Art's still at work, probably be home before you're done tonight. Okay. Rochelle said I may be in Vegas next week. I know, and I'm hoping to be able to see you. We got to go and do lunch or something. Maybe not lunch. Maybe dinner and things like, because I'll be working. I can't even say that anymore. Oh man, I used to be like, oh, don't get none of that on me. Don't get no work on. Work. What is that? Whew. Sneezing and everything like that, because I was like getting allergic to it and things. So now, wet floss. I got some of that, Matt. I sure do. I put it away in my where's my project bag? I've been getting all my crafts and stuff together, but I put my project bag away. But yes, I bought a metallic floss, and I have a pearlescent one, and the goal is to try to make water look wet from a cross stitch perspective. I'm always challenging myself, Matt. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure you would have come up with that. um Cheryl says, hey, Rochelle. And Crystal says, add glitter. So that was where my mind was at. Like, hey, is there a way to bling up a paint by number? Can I just add glitter? Obviously. It might be something you have to add after the paint is down, but before it completely dries is what I'm thinking. And then what is it that makes water look more realistic and things like. I'm pretty sure you can maybe go from acrylic tempera over to maybe more of an oil base, but oil paints take forever to dry on a canvas. And so it's been years since I've done any type of, ever since I started getting more into like fiber arts and things like that. And the further I got away from college, I'm not like I used to have charcoals, oils, acrylics, all of that, watercolor. I'm not really good at watercolor and things like that. But obviously I had all of that, just made it fun. And then I could freehand draw also. So we shall see, what comes up, what I do with this time, we shall see. But I'm sitting there a lot, and I'm waiting. And then, hi, my name is Tia. I'm licensed and all, so um, pretty much that's my day now. So I'm gonna be keeping you guys posted, because I do have a lot more time to kind of craft, which means when I get off, I don't feel so guilty coming in here to, play with my clay and to pop out pins and things like that. So you guys will see. Now my store was on vacation. I was smart this time. My store was on vacation while I was, at the retreat and things like that. I'm gonna take this opportunity because it has gotten hot. It's hot here. Oh, it's hot here. And this is a more difficult time to work with polymer clay when you live in the Southwest. So I'm gonna take this time to maybe kind of build my inventory up, and then maybe open in another week or two. But we'll see. We definitely will see, and things like that. Because I had a lot. This was the most attention that I've ever received for a pen, before it went up on the store. And that would be for this puppy right here. So, and I don't feel like you could see, and I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that say that. I don't think you can see just how beautiful it is until you see it in person. Somebody else said that as well. I think it was Tima at the retreat and things like that. So, um, color choice. I'm going again, shout out Tam from Captured by Radiance. And yes, Captured by Radiance turns their own pens. And Tam helped design that pen down to a T, color, spectrum, everything. And she also helped name the pen. That's Envision the Radiance. So shout out to Capture by Radiance. That was beautiful. That's very amazing. You know, I'm I make pens and things like that, and polymer clay pens. And you guys know Crashly, my baby sister. She was on the show last week. She crazy, y'all. She's crazy. She's the one that showed me and Billy and a few others at the very first retreat the art of polymer clay, conditioning, creating pens, the idea, and things like that. Obviously, I went on and I took additional art classes and I learned other, ways to work with the medium and things like that. But she kicked that off, and I remember telling her, "Don't teach me nothing you don't want me now. If I go into business and selling the same pens you sell, don't get upset." But I was honest and I was upfront and things. And she has been like one of my biggest supporters, my biggest fans, and things like that. She talks about the pens all the time. She's showcasing them. If we're at a retreat and things, she's like, "Go see what Tia has. Go buy a pen from her," and things like that. I feel like I got that same support from Captured by Radiance. And keep in mind, they hand turn their own pens. So beautiful. Love that those ladies looked out for me, came up with something. Here's what you can do. And the pen was done because I was thinking of all the colors of like romance art, and then some of the pieces that were in the Winter King story line group. So because of that, that was kind of where I was trying to get like a lot of inspiration and things. So I think I did pretty good. You probably can't see it here. The only thing missing is when I tried to add red, they didn't mesh too well. They didn't look good together at all and stuff. So but I did try and get like an element of red and things. Tammy says, "I have a question. Has anyone found that the drills in a kit is different than Tima's specialties? The pixie dust are lighter than the regular drills. Would it change the look of the diamond painting?" Well, I don't know if it would change so much the look of the diamond painting. It just depends on like how you're spreading them out. They could add like when they're lighter, then the darker ones could add some sort of shadowing effect. So sometimes, it can be an enhancement. But you're probably talking about the dye lots, and it probably means that they're using different manufacturers for where they purchase their drills, or that's probably the first question. Crystal says it won't let me say my fat pen. All right, so maybe it thinks you're trying to use it as a like a bad name. Matt says, "I think we need one with the golds and dark blues, greens, but add that pop of cranberry." I tried. There's no gold. That's I don't know. I tried though, Matt. I don't like how it came out. Maybe it should be another round of, blending and things like that. It's a tester, so that's why you see it looks thinner. But as greens, blues, um, that is actually like a pink. It's not a pearl, but it's coming out like a pearl. And it's giving like, I think that should have been, that might be silver. Can't remember, but I took into consideration. So Matt gave me some great feedback earlier this year when he told me, we got a lot of pinks, purples, blues, to kind of get to the other spectrum when it comes to color options and things like that. So I'm thinking outside the box and things. My marbling technique, I'm doing a little bit differently and things like that. And we just got to see where, what I come up with that's a winning combo when it comes to, some darker blues and cherries and things like that. Thank you, Michelle. Um, so Matt says, "Just what I was typing, as you said, it didn't work." It didn't, but I'm gonna keep trying because I thought it was great information. Maybe just need to figure a different method. That's what I'm doing. I have one polymer clay symposium that I'm going to be attending. I want to go now in Colorado. They have a like a large clay event, and I was wondering, should I start to retreat different, you know, and maybe hit up some of these polymer clay, because they use polymer clay for so many like there's a huge anime world where people are starting to create figurines, and not that I'm going into that, but they have retreats so that you're able to pick up these like additional, you know, techniques and things like that. Obviously, my goal is to have colors that everybody wants to purchase, but also to keep in mind, you know, the comfort aspect and things like that. So I'm going to continue. I'm trying to find a manufacturer that makes the pink pins, the longer ones. I haven't seen them in years, but I know when Craftably was around, someone was trying to market them and things like that, you know, and then obviously the comfort aspect, but from a larger, my pins are about 5 inches. I don't think it would be, you know, too much if I went 6, 6.5. I think 7 is a bit large, but you know, I would be willing to kind of see how comfortable I can make a pen and how much clay that requires and things. So, you know, I'm still there, guys. I'm a work in progress. Cheryl says sounds like great coloring, Matt. The greens as in dark to go well with either colors. I agree. Can you just do bits in as opposed to swirled throughout? That's kind of what the art does. Um, I am trying like a method where it's just bits and things like that. The problem is um when I get my drill and things like that. So when I start to drill, you guys know I got a new drill. If you didn't know, where's my new drill at? All right, I think I showed it, but if I didn't, oh, here it is. I'm going to show it. 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 All right. So got a new drill. As you can see, it's cordless. And here's my old drill. Okay. So I've had this drill for 6 years, 6 or 7 years. And she's tired. It's time. Anyway, based on like the suggestion that you had, it's a great suggestion. The problem is that when you start to drill, after you know the swirl technique and things like that, it cuts in two and it kind of sets. Just like if you see when somebody's hand turning and they have all these designs in the glass blank, same thing with clay. So once you start to cut into, oops, once you start to cut into, one moment, once I start to cut into the clay, then you know it can change the design and things like that. So that's the only bad thing. That's why I was telling people, you know, when you get a pen, you know, no two pens are ever the same. Mary is a testament to that. I did a little bit more with a color saturation of a pen. I think she already had one, and I love how it came out. It came out really good. So you'll probably see same colors, but sometimes just a little bit more saturation, and it kind of changes. I know a lot of people liked Banana Berry Cooler, you know, but just, you know, modifying it a little bit more, the color saturation looks different than the initial pen. So we'll see. Matt says, I was thinking do classic swirls, but the roll tiny balls of clay, then just push them on before it hardens. I know zero about um, that would be a great technique for the straight pins, though. For the straight pins, Matt, that's a great idea and things like that. Obviously, there's some ergonomics to the ones that I make. So it would be difficult, but it's a good idea. Cheryl says, hi, Tammy. How are you? I never dug up the clay, but I have a friend who does it on her land there. Uh-oh. That sounds like all I know about Colorado and clay is it's hard to dig up when you want to plant. I agree. But it's necessary and it's so everywhere that you know it's affordable right now unless you buy. I buy my clay. I like the Belgian clay a lot. Um Matt says maybe some Boy Scouts crafts and letting Play-Doh when I was 5. That was like my initial experience. Like I've played with clay before, it's Play-Doh. It's Play-Doh, it's Play-Doh, you know, and it had that like salty, I guess, smell to it. But there's there's not really a smell to real polymer clay. Um, so, kind of getting over from there. Real quick, just wanted to kind of point a couple things out. When you know, retreat and you see, you know, similar groups of people over time, I want y'all to help me kind of think about how I should have handled a particular situation. Um, you know how you go out often and you see someone, you know, they may be at the same event as you over, you know, a long period of time. But you talk to them indirectly. Hey girl, how you doing? Yes, I'm doing what you know. Um, how do you overcome the awkwardness when you don't know their name? But you should know their name. You've talked to them in depthly for a long time. So how do you overcome that awkwardness? Make sure y'all pop that down in the chat. I'm sitting here and it's somebody that I've known for a long time, and I'm trying not to call them the wrong name, but I don't remember their name and things like that. So I am talking around the and we supposedly know each other more than I thought, because they're reminiscing about conversations that we've had, and I'm like, oh yeah, you okay? Oh, I felt so phony and so fake, and I hate that, you know. So I'm sitting there like and then someone says their name and I'm like, oh, and so everything came back. I'm gonna be honest. I literally was like, well, you know, last year I had a mental breakdown. And I kind of, you know, let that kind of linger and give me some grace and things like that. But how do you overcome that? Have you ever found yourself in that circumstance? And if so, like, what did you do? Did you act stupid like me? Or maybe stupid is not the right word, because I was offended last week when somebody called me stupid, and it really, I took it to heart more than I probably let on and things like that. But it was how aggressive he was when he said it, and the fact that I didn't feel like I said something that he should have used to, you know, kind of demean me and things like that. I don't know, but I did take it to heart. It took me a while. I brought it up quite a few times. I'm sure you guys heard about it on the live. Anybody in person heard about it like 4 or 5 times and stuff. So, what would you guys do in that situation? Because I feel like, you know, I had to come up with something, and hmm, and I felt, you know, kind of bad. Um, Cheryl says, ask them. Always be honest. That just never dawned on me. Come up with a kick name, something sweet. Oh, I've had to ask. There was one girl at this last retreat that remembered me from Lone Star, and I did not remember her at all. I hope we're not talking about the same person, Melinda. Um, Tia, you have a dilemma. I would say, oops, sing your moment. Please remind me of your name. You are 29, not a senior. Oh, or think of something about them that will click their name. I won't forget, but it gets worse. I'm starting here. Um, Something like feeling old, my mind blank on your name. I know. I like that, Julie. You're not stupid. I'm gonna stop calling myself that though, Tammy, because I was so offended when this guy was so rude. He just was like, can't you read? And he was that aggressive. You're so stupid. And I'm like, I'm reading, I'm saying it to you exactly the way it's typed it. I mean, I felt really stupid. I don't know. He was so aggressive though, and he was coming towards me. Now he had on an airport you know, uniform and things like that. So he wasn't like some crazy homeless man that was on drugs or anything like that. But I did take that comment to heart. I mean, I talked about, y'all hear me talking about it again. So I'm gonna maybe stop trying to, you know, saying stuff like I feel so stupid. How dumb can I be? Because I was hurt and I was offended when somebody else said it. And sometimes people feel like, well, if you say it about you, and you don't mean anything by it, then why isn't it okay if somebody else does? So I don't want to, I don't want to take that stance and things like that. So I'm going to correct me so that I am, within my right to say, don't talk to me like that. Don't call me that, when somebody else does it. But I was a deer in headlights. I was in shock. um, Crystal says, people know my brain's broke. uh, it was a stranger who knows nothing about you. I know, but I still took it to heart. I don't know. I always forget names. Not good with names. The guy who called you S has a problem all his own. Has nothing to do with you. Don't absorb. It was absorbed and then when we came home, we were talking about because my kids picked us up, both of them. I couldn't believe it. They both came to get me and Shelly from the airport. And then my daughter was like, I know you guys are hungry. You guys have been on a plane. You guys, ready to eat. Where do you want to go? My treat. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I raised them right. So we went and had Chinese, because we had good home cooked. When I tell you, so J Paul did all the cooking. That's T-Ma's husband. I felt horrible just a minute because not only was it T-Ma's birthday, but it's also their their anniversary. If you guys have seen them on my show, they can be so cute and lovey-dovey and things like that. But he was cooking, so he was getting his kisses in when he could in the kitchen. I got on him about that one day. I got on Timo about like, girl, he's getting in his loving. Okay, he's cooking, and he still had time to smooch. So I thought it was so cute. But we had home cooked meals. So my daughter offered, I'm like, hey, we let Shelly pick, and she had a taste for Chinese and things like that. So it was a great evening. But obviously, that's when they want to know, like, what happened? How did it go? My son, I thought he was about to go get on a plane and head to the airport. He was mad. That kind of made me, feel a little bit better and things like that. But I told them, obviously, I keep bringing it up for a reason. And so my daughter was like, it's okay. I understand. I probably would have, kind of teeter-tottered and tossed that back and forth also. So, I'm a work in progress. Matt says, I'm pretty good, so don't have any great advice. Asking is definitely better than them walking away and knowing that you didn't know. Depends on how awkward it starts to feel, I suppose. So, um, I don't want to, kind of dwindle it down, but people sometimes their appearance changes and things like that. And their appearance had changed, and I didn't recognize that either. And so I have to do a little bit better a job at being maybe aware and things like that. One of the things when I first started going to retreats that I prided myself on is spending time with everybody at the retreat. And I hope that I haven't gotten to a point where it's visceral, like it's on the surface and it's not genuine. Because I remember I sat and I literally had great conversations. And then I scooted back to the next section and I met up and hugged and talked and introduced myself and had great conversations. And so I hope that I'm not, coming up just a disingenuine and things like that. I still want to be that person that everyone's like, oh, she's such a sweetheart. I had an amazing time hanging out with her. And I love that, we got to communicate and we got to, talk, and then we build a friendship and we communicate, further after that. Like Amy, I know that we go late during the week and things like that, but you guys know Amy is someone that's in the chat often and things like that. I got to meet her in person. I feel like, it was a very genuine communication. And now, hats off to her, but she's someone that I try to see every year when I'm in Michigan. So, you know, that's the type of person I want to continue to be. And, I'm hoping that I came across this as genuine as I have in the past. He did end up getting reported. Shelly was not playing. First thing Monday morning, Shelly got on the phone and she started making calls. So, um, uh, Cheryl says, I never forget a face, but names, not so much. Yeah, so uh Cheryl says if it was someone you know, it would be a discussion, but a stranger, what a jerk. Total stranger, didn't know who he was and things. Who does that? Seems he is missing a huge part of humanity. I don't know what occurred. He was very aggressive. There were some employees that were behind me, but at that point, I didn't know what to think. He's very aggressive. And my friend Shelly said the two gentlemen, they were like working the parking lot taxi cab area. They were heading towards us, and they look like, they might come and say something to them, rush them off and move, and so hopefully, that's the case and I wouldn't have been in any type of, it's just that moment, where he just was being rude. So um they also each are a tear off as to which anniversary. A year off. Yeah, a year off. Joanna, what's up? Everyone saying hi. Rochelle said, yes, you did. The retreat was amazing. Thank you. Hug hamster. Uh-oh, hamsters. Did you guys have any trouble with the wheelchair assistance? No. Rhonda! Rhonda! Rhonda. Oh my goodness. Dipping Time is in the house, you guys. Rhonda she is something else. Rhonda's the type of person that when it is time to go, she will cause you to tear up. And she was having some beautiful moments. We teased her about it, but now that we're away from the situation, there's such endearing moments. Rhonda wanted to see the bullfrogs, and so she was getting in touch with nature, and she was going outside with her cell phone. You guys are gonna hear this story a million times, I'm sure, because it's a memory that we just are taking away. So she goes outside. It's dark out, and while she's out there getting in touch with nature, looking for bullfrogs, people see movement and they see some sort of light flashing and they see movement. And so they go running because they think there is a bear outside behind the retreat venue in the woods. I was a light orb. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, don't go out there. I tried to stop Tima. Then after Tima was Crashly. Crashly, get your butt back here. And then Serenity. Now, y'all, Serenity is not little. Serenity looked like she's 6'2". I wasn't ready for how tall Tima's kids are and how much they've grown up over these last 7, 8 years. I'm in shock. Anyway, I'm like, Serenity, don't go into the light. Come. I couldn't get them to stop. They want to go see if this is really a bear. In any case, it's Rhonda. She's crawling around looking for bullfrogs. She thinks it's a pond out back, and it's not. It's a lagoon. Now, if you don't know what a lagoon is, it's like a latrine. It's like it's the septic tank for rural houses, and it had just been treated. So thankfully, Rhonda did not go into the lagoon, but she couldn't find the she could not find she couldn't find the bullfrogs. They were loud, but maybe I was a firefly. Everyone's asking about Dipper. Rhonda, you didn't go live. No, she did not go live. So that that really did happen. That was amazing. Um, uh, so, was the conversation with you all putting on eyelashes? I couldn't get up in the I couldn't, it was too many stairs. So you guys know I had to do wheelchair assist at my last retreat and things. I'm still doing wheelchair assist. I can walk. That's not the issue. It's like when I have to climb stairs and things like that, it just puts too much on, and you know, my hip is probably gonna have to get replaced. It is failing me in the same leg where the bullet is. If you guys are new to my channel, you should know that I got shot coming out of McDonald's in a McDonald's parking lot years ago, but I do still have a bullet in my leg. And now, years later, I'm dealing with the degenerative issues on top of, you know, the scar tissue and things like that, the bullet shifting and stuff. So, like climbing stairs, out the question. Walking really far, out the question. And there's a small limp. The more pain I feel, the bigger the limp. So to answer your question, we did not have issues coming home with our wheelchair assist at all. Well, small issues. Once we got them, we just, you know, got pushed and stuff. There, we met two gentlemen. One guy was 92, another guy was 100. They had a friend that was, I think he said 88, that had just passed. And then when they were in their late 70s, they had another friend that passed. So these two were on their way to Vegas to spend it all. When I tell you they was cutting up at the airport while we was there, we was waiting to get out, they was cutting up. They was coming to Vegas. I was like, oh my, I've been watching the news ever since we got in. They're gonna be here until Saturday. So I'm gonna keep watching for these two gentlemen, 92 and 100. They were in the Navy. And the guy that's 100, he was like, I don't know, their head, whatever, and the other three was under him, but they all, you know, were really close. And at one point, they were on a boat for 8 years straight. Um, when I asked what straight means, you know, obviously they would, you know, surface to get food and things like that. They may be at a port, I'm not sure how long, but like they didn't, you know, come out for 6 months or anything and then go back in. So they were really close. Now, both of them that were out there, they are married. I got to, you know, see their wives because they were FaceTiming them. One of the 100-year-old, he couldn't hear that much. He could hear me, so I must have been talking loud, but he couldn't, you know, really hear and stuff. And we just got close because the four of us were the wheelchair. We were the wheelchair people. So it's 8 years now. Yeah. So we were all for the wheelchair people. And because of that, you know, sitting there, we kind of, you know, like the retreat before the retreat, we bonded. um, anyway, um, so, you know, we get to meet the gentleman, we have a good time. Um, and it took a while for them to get all four of our wheelchairs. At one point, they thought we were traveling together. So they were trying to get four wheelchairs instead of he was first, he's second, things like that. Which is fun. Hold on one second. All right. So that's fun. You know, we had a great time, but yeah, we didn't have too many other issues as far as the you know, the travel and the trip and things like that. Let's see. Rhonda found a lake on the property. Kiki says I've been in a situation like that at work more than once. At work. Wow. Rhonda says if you haven't seen or been to Tall Oaks, last week's pre-recorded, aka live, was all about Tall Oaks. Make sure you guys go and check out Rhonda's video. That's why you guys saw me sit in my seat. A couple other people like Honey Bunny, she went live, but she went live from her seat also. And that's because we knew there were going to be like retreat videos and things like that. Who wants to watch 18 retreat videos? So we, you know, I kind of just went live from my seat. I think Tima was expecting me kind of get up and like walk around, but I just told y'all I'm struggling with that. So a lot of people was coming to kind of hang out with me. Rochelle says my reaction was, I don't know what's outside in the dark, and I won't be finding. Girl, I was like, I can't believe they going out there. They going out there. They was running like it's a bear. You guys better come now if you want to see the bear. Like I don't want to see the bear at all whatsoever. And then Crashly ran into a snake about this big in radius, and it was coming out of the same woods that they were all searching for this bear in. um Rochelle, you're a wise owl. Rhonda says I'm an insect ranger. Saving Rochelle and the gang. She definitely was saving us. We don't have bugs here in the Mojave Desert, and they have all kind in Missouri. I'm telling you right now. Rhonda, she's the one that you go to not only to get the bug, but she's the one you go to try and identify what bug she just got. Is everyone ready for the big heat wave? I feel like I'm already in the midst of it. I'm going up to, by the end of the week, it's going to be, I think, 110. Obviously, that's hot for most of the world and things like that. But you know, I live in the Mojave Desert, and it can get anywhere from 120 to 123 here. It can go as high as 128, 129 in Phoenix, which is about 3.5 hours, 4 hours from here. So this is definitely the hot part of the world. We're we're in the desert. Oh my God! If power goes out at the garden, that wedding will be a 20 million loss. Listen, listen. Which I missed. Pretty sure that snake was a twig. She watched it skirt off though. Melinda says, Rochelle, there were lots and lots of bugs outside. I'm glad I stayed inside. It was a lot of bugs, a lot. They was flying around. We saw all kind of stuff. You know, Colorado has canceled 4th of July celebrations, fireworks and open flames, barbecue and grilling. Oh man, it must be dry there. They must be worried about starting like a fire. I can understand that. Oh, it's Jurassic Park out there. So many fires. Rochelle says, I didn't see many bugs, but I wasn't out at night in the woods at the lake. That was not a lake. Lots of ice and water. In Vegas, you can truly cook on the car hood if you have it outside. You sure can. I love seeing TikToks of people frying eggs on their car. So what was that? We found a house centipede. They can grow up to 15 pairs of legs. A beetle of the scarab family. Yes, we did. We found lots of bugs. And Rhonda did a great job of bringing it around to everybody and then posting in our group chat what bug we just looked at. There were a lot of bugs inside from what we seen inside T-Moss. Oh, Matt, why you got to bring that up? Listen, one of the best. So I was going to take my time and climb up into the treehouse. I was. Then obviously I started to think a little bit better of that because Tima wanted everybody to come and try whatever bugs she was eating. Tima, she actually ate these bugs and then showed you. Uh, I was struggling. When I tell y'all I was struggling because somebody at the new job mentioned something about steak in our chat. And the rest of the time, she said it right before I started drinking, I could not get the taste of a good, seasoned, juicy steak out of my mouth. And I'm struggling. Now, Rochelle decides she's going to come to my rescue. And when we leave the cross stitch store, we're going to be able to order carry out for Outback Steakhouse. She's gonna come to my rescue. She gonna help me, but it was bad. Like I couldn't get everything. Like these chips don't taste like steak. Oh my God, those cookies, they do not taste like steak. What am I gonna do? Like I couldn't get this taste out of my mouth. I wanted steak so bad. And then what does Tima do? It didn't cure me though. Tima started eating bugs on her live. Matt, I took pics and sent them to Crashly to make papers. That was a good idea. Did you get it where she was showing? Centipedes are freaky, and crazy bad assessment, actually. Rhonda should start doing commentary on bug war videos. You should have seen her. She was out. It was so cute though to see her. She was so excited and she couldn't wait. And so, she was just getting one with nature. She's a little spitfire. This is the only time I've ever seen Rhonda sit at her seat for periods of time. She was still up and about, and as the week wore on, she was up and about a lot more. But this is the most that I've seen her, like, kind of in her seat, trying to craft. I was gonna say focus, but she was trying to craft and things like that. Shout out to her. Um, Vegans, okay, but bug eaters, no. Yes, US moves on in the US World Cup. Rhonda says, could you imagine commentary on Bug Wars? That would be great. Nope, we can't. You can, Rhonda, but I can't. I'm gonna send you the pictures. Please do. You were brave tackling those night bugs. She was definitely brave. Never saw a firefly before tall oaks. Now that was beautiful. Growing up on the East Coast, as it got evening and things like that, and we would sit out and like grandparents and things would, sip on their sweet tea. That's what you did back then. Anyway, I remember seeing lightning bugs and things like that. I remember catching a whole bunch in a jar and I killed them all. I felt horrible the next day. I forgot to, put air in the lids so they could fly around. And I had a jar full of dead bugs. And that's all it was, the dead bugs. They wouldn't light up. But I had this brilliant idea that I was going to be able to use this jar to kind of light my way at night instead. This is how kids think, I guess. Um, so almost got a 20 by 20 image half done. That was huge success for me. I agree. I got a lot of crafting done. I worked on several different crafts. I did work on my Legos. Now, if you were here at the beginning of the show, you know that I was drinking the night Lego night, and so even though I got pretty far, I kind of crushed my Legos, unfortunately. Oh, this girl is something else. You going. You so bad. I, I can't even believe that. I tried to get Josiah to sit down. I'm like, no, 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 Josiah, do not put the lashes on. But he was just having a good time hanging out. I said, Auntie Tia said, get back here. He just laughed at me. Um, So we had a great time. We had definitely had a great time. Let's see, the treehouse was wonderful. Even had a wooden swing bench I had to try out. The treehouse was definitely wonderful. Again, just a lot of high steps and things like that. If there was like, maybe more, but you going up and around and then up again, that was just a lot for my hip. So we'll see, we'll see. Other than that, it was definitely a great retreat, very relaxing. It's what you want when it comes to like retreating and things like that. You're getting a lot done, but you're having fun and you're getting that socializing. I will say it's been a while, when me and Lizzie part, obviously I cry. I don't want to say goodbye and things like that. But I cried almost when it was time for almost everybody to go. I met a lady, her name is Sean. Sean lives in Alaska. She lives in Fairbanks. So this is further north than any of the other Alaskans that we know and love. And rooting her on as she's been traveling. She just got home last night, but rooting her on as she's been traveling and enjoying her trip home. Even thinking about her brought tears to my eyes. And we just had a few conversations, where we got close and we had some chuckles and things like that. But that's what I mean when I say that intimate setting, that retreat before the retreat vibe. It was just amazing. So I am already signed up for next year. I'm just gonna let you guys know. It's gonna be, I believe, this same exact week. And I'm pretty sure maybe the end of July or August, they're gonna open it up to the public. So they're gonna give an opportunity first for anybody that went this year, to kind of, hold their spot, and then they're going to open it up. So if you guys want to come hang out and have fun, Matt, then make sure you get the link, and we want to come and see you guys. Is that going to be the same week as that? We don't know yet. Obviously, we're waiting to see what those dates and things like that look like. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's no conflict, because I did already pay. I just had that great a time. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Rhonda says the tree house was wonderful. Even had a wooden swing bench that she had to try out. Was waiting for someone to try out the slide. We thought you would be, the one to try. If Rhonda didn't try out the slide, it wasn't getting tried out. Rochelle says Rhonda and I were having a ball, cracking up. uh, was gut hurting, eye watering, air gasping, so many memories, right? Um, Matt put up the retreat form. Thank you so very much. Rochelle, thank you, Rochelle. So you guys know that Rochelle and Shelly. Oh my God, Karen! Hey, Karen. Oh, Karen is somebody that was at the retreat, somebody that I was just her and Sean. I was just referring to. Oh my goodness. So, obviously we had a great time. Rochelle is she is the person. So me, my daughter, and Shelly, we went to a cross stitch store back in November, and we had a great time. Such a great time. My daughter decided that she wanted to start cross stitching. After she finished her project, she started on another project. She felt fulfilled, and she wanted to start crafting and things like that. She was getting into cross stitch so much. Shelly was like, we have to let Rochelle know, and then maybe the four of us can do. So then when Shelly gave her idea to Rochelle, Rochelle, she is a planner, she is a thinker, she is a doer, she is an implementer. And she reached out to Tima, and she literally said, hey, got a group of ladies. They're talking about coming together, they want to craft and things like that. And her and Tima put this retreat on a calendar, and it sold out. And Tima told us that she's had other, opportunities and other events and things like that, but that this was the first 5 day sold out. There wasn't any available spots. We had someone who wanted to come. They literally slept in Tima's travel trailer, and that would be Cheryl Gerhardt's. When I saw that she was, wanting to be there so much, I said, hey, if you want an actual bed, that one's not comfortable, we can swap out. That wouldn't have been much of an issue for me, because you guys know I'm trying to get a travel trailer. So that would have been an ideal time for me to kind of test some things out. But she said it was okay, and she kind of made do. Hopefully next go round, if we need to give up a bed and swap so that everybody's there and having a great time, I don't mind sleeping in the travel trailer. Long as when I touch back in the house, I don't run into this snake. Just saying. I'm just saying. Um, Matt says, I'm gonna make it sometime, maybe able to travel a bit by next year after retreat season. I'm gonna keep pushing because I want to see you. Want to see you. Everyone's saying hugs and hellos to Karen. How are you this evening, Karen? Um, are you one of the Alaska? No, she's not from Alaska, but her partner, Sean, that's the one that I was talking about that lived in Alaska. But she's somebody who, again, after I got to talk to and things like that, I was tearing up. She did something really sweet. She made baby sister, that's Crashly. She made baby sister. We made friendship bracelets, and everybody, I was frustrated trying to make these friendship bracelets. Karen sat next to me. Karen did not get frustrated. She had a good time. She made a beautiful bracelet. And then she turned around and made one for Crashly. I thought that was beautiful. You didn't make one for me, but that's okay. I'm teasing you. Let's go. So it is next week, next year, June 27th through the 22nd through the 27th. Had a great time, had an amazing time. The food was so delicious. So we had, kind of quick breakfasts just in case, I always kind of follow up and end on the food note. So every morning, you got your coffee, you had your, kind of your choice of how you want to do breakfast. I think at first there was Danishes rolls or something like that. There was definitely, the cookies. There was granola bars. There was breakfast bars, oatmeal. There was definitely like raisin bread and things that you would make. Um, I just needed my coffee, and the coffee was definitely there. Plentiful. Okay. So for me, a quick granola bar, some coffee, because obviously I was going into work. Great. Lunch. Oh my gosh. Lunch, big giant pieces of lunch meat. So if you liked ham, if you like cracked black pepper, smoked turkey, oh goodness. Fresh vegetables. They kept lettuce fresh. They kept tomatoes sliced, cut fresh. Onions. I don't put onions on my sandwich, but they were there. And then what did I say that was not nice? That I don't What did I say? Uh-oh. I get it. You got to remind me. I don't like to not be nice. Hello, lovely. Better to be less revelation time than Alaska. The sofa looked pretty darn comfy too. Sofa was comfy. Toilet tissue stories. What is toilet tissue? Spill, girl. What is toilet tissue stories? I think Tima was using Cheryl to test the trailer before opening it up much. If something gonna break and hurt someone, Cheryl will find. Matt. Oh, I agree, Matt. Rochelle said, "When I see you in person, I will tell the story. It's hilarious." Um, Karen says, "There's a psychiatry conference in Vegas in February. Hoping I can come see you then. I cannot wait. Make sure you reach out to me. Yes, come see me. We'll have to craft as well." Um, Matt is bad. Tima keeps the drugs, caffeine, well stocked. She definitely does. She keeps the drugs well stocked. It was amazing. So much. I mean, so much. I had coffee every morning. It was the gourmet type also. So it wasn't just, regular coffee. You could get your flavor of whatever. There were people there who were generous. Obviously, you go to the store, you buy your creamer, and you're fixing your coffee the way you like it. I like coffee with just some sugar-free creamer in it. I don't have to have like 2 scoops of this, 3 scoops of that, half and half here and there. I don't have to have all of that. So it was really nice. And I'll take, whatever coffee somebody make me also. So somebody said, here, made coffee. Somebody made coffee for me day one. I thought it was a beautiful idea, and I drank it. It was good. And then Crashly, I think she made coffee for me the second morning. Still great. I drank it. I drank it all too. So um and we talked about lunch. Lunch, big, you can make big sandwich fixings and things like that. Now dinner is more of a big home style. Let's just picture yourself going to like a southern home style type restaurant and things like that. And we're talking like homemade mashed potatoes. We're talking, like meatball sub. We're, good homemade food and things like that. Now, from the first night into the next day, if there were leftovers, guess what you could do? You could have leftovers for lunch, and that's pretty much what I did. Dinners were so good. I had leftovers on my lunch break every day, which was even better. Loved it. Yes. So I will tell you, I, I feel bad for J Paw. He was throwing down. He was definitely throwing. Now he didn't make no steak. I'm gonna tell you this, J Paw. You could make me some steak. You heard me complain. You heard me begging. You heard me fiending for steak. You could have been like, let me make my girl some steak so she can shut up. Um, but other than that, dinner was amazing. I had a great time. Love being able, I cannot believe how big these kids have gotten. Um, Crashly's babies came up to hang out with Auntie Tia. I almost started crying. I really did. I almost started crying. And I'm gonna tell you that Zach, that's my baby right there. He is such an amazing kid. I can't believe how much they have grown up and things like that. But Zach, I'm gonna be auntie. And I remember saying, hey, I just want to make sure that you feel like I remember having this conversation with Alyssa. I remember having this conversation with Lydia. And so now it's crazy that I'm having it with Zach. But I said, I want to make sure you feel like you always have someone that can hear your voice. So if you don't feel like you have that, then you can always reach out to Auntie. Now, I'm going to not try. I always tell the kids, I'm going to try not to betray confidence. But I need to always understand that you're making, the right decisions, and you're using how you were raised in the best way and things like that. So I do have that. I had that conversation with him, and he says, I do feel like I mean, he is very, very vocal, a lot more than I thought. He used his words exquisitely. Um, he's just one of those kids that, just kind of let life happen. Anyway, he says, I do feel like I have a voice. I feel like I can tell my mom anything, and I feel like I'm going to get great guidance, wisdom, direction. I feel like she tries to understand me, and, she's into the things that I have to say to her. So he says, Auntie, watch this. So here come Crashly. And he says something about, oh my goodness, do you know that the guy starring in Resident Evil had 15 whatever kills and 8 whatever? He says, and she says, what the and he looked at her like, I just told her that you are supportive, you're understanding, you try and hear me out, and you try to get to know me. She like failed the first test. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. He just gave you such great insight. He just, really complimented you. He has an amazing mom, and this is how you respond. So I did get a chance to have a little fun. I talked Nora's ears off also. Again, great way to kind of see the kids. I can't believe. Now, you don't know when Jerry Bear was showing Mary Jane and showing pictures of Trapper. He has another dog. Obviously the other dog is new to the Love Fest. um, but I remember going to some trappers, parties and things like that. I remember Mary Jane, get into, she's coming in to the frame. She's making sure she's getting dad's, attention and things like that. Same thing with Tootsie, Rebecca's dogs, Pearl and Stitch. Over the years, we kind of develop relationships with the kids, but we remember them from the first time that we saw them. And so it's crazy to see them at Serenity is a grown woman. She's tall though. She looked like she's 6'2". And so my mouth, seeing Josiah in person and Jedi, this is crazy. So those are what really made those moments endearing and things like that. Get to a retreat. That's all I can say is get to a retreat. Have a great time. We all craft, we are crafters in mind, and crafters, alike. And so because of that, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a great time. Let's see, I'm seeing. Oh my gosh, you all getting exposed. My son is participating in an exposure event. My husband is going. If work is quiet, I will go for the weekend. You mean a basketball scout event, not exposure? Rhonda, Rhonda is over here just blowing it. Just a simple couple of scoops of coffee in a jug of Bailey's. Seemed like y'all were pretty hard on the crafting that first night. Listen, we was drinking, okay? We wasn't trying to hide that. You guys definitely know. I'm sure, depending on the different stations that you guys have heard, that I was enjoying the libations and spirits. Tall Oaks. Rhonda hooked me up. She gave my own bottle of mudslide. So Rhonda doesn't want me to bring up the mudslide incident anymore because she took care of all of that. Rochelle says, Tall Oaks was awesome. I don't eat meals at traditional times, and it wasn't a problem. That's true. It was not. You can eat when you want and what you want. It wasn't perfect. You can eat what you want when you want. I love that aspect of it. Again, for me, because I was working now, I'm not going to work anymore at retreats and things like that. I'm going to take the time off because I could not wait to go kind of hang out with everybody, especially when Karina came. I really wish I could have spent more time. She brought her grandson, and you guys know how I am because I don't have no grandkids. Nobody here want to give me any. So I get close to the babies and things like that. And Karina brought her grandson, and I feel like he was over there developing relationships with everybody. He got really close to Honey Bunny, and he made an axolotl for her. I was really jealous. Um, but everybody had a good time. Sorry, going to say goodnight. Have a good weekend. Make sure you come back Sunday for morning laughs. See you Sunday. You have a wonderful week as well. Rhonda saying good night. Shawana, what's up? I'm pretty sure I thought I saw your name. I did. I did. Hey, I got 2 per order. Oh, you're talking to Rhonda. Okay. And let's see. Cannot wait to start, Leora. Oh my. Thank goodness the pre-orders don't close till the 8th. I need to make my order. Okay, well, there we go. So, with that said, I wanted to make sure I kind of got you guys all caught up. Obviously, we kind of talked about better ways that I probably could have handled forgetting somebody's name. Um, I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. Um, also, I'm doing things. I'm crafting. I feel like I'm returning to me. I'm smiling. I'm home. I'm back home, and I am going to be going live Sunday. Sunday is going to be morning labs. That's the new date that we moved it to. Just a quick announcement. I'm not sure if it's working for Lizzie. It is the summertime and things like that, but we'll see. She may not be on Sunday. She hasn't finalized or anything, but she definitely did not renew her StreamYard. She told me she wasn't going to, and obviously that means we go live from mine. But we'll see. We'll keep in touch. She's been doing a lot of whipping chats. Did you guys see what she did with Lucy Goosey? Oh, she bought, just to celebrate Canada Day, she kicked off the next outfit for Lucy Goosey. It's all homage to Canada, old Canada, and Canada Day. So make sure you guys kind of check that out. She's doing a great job because I'm somebody that have been laughing at her when she said that she gonna be buying an outfit a month and she gonna show this on her channel and things like that. So shout out to her there. Let's see. Cannot wait to start. Leora. Oh, okay, I saw that. Just seeing. Nut is saying good night to everybody. I'm not live at all tomorrow. Kind of took the week off to recharge my mental health batteries. Well, make sure that you put your feet up, that you're staying hydrated, because it is hot. And we look forward to seeing you next week, Mud Nuts. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and end tonight's live. I thank you all for coming out, having a good time, kind of allowing me, the space to kind of recap my retreat experience. Again, if you guys are coming to Vegas, look me up. I would love to be able to kind of get together, tear the city up with you, have a good time, and then maybe come back to the lily pad and relax. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your evening. See you Sunday on Morning Laughs. Bye.